Hello and welcome back to the 3-Hour News Show. Now, you are still here watching us in our signature segment, See the Stories. Now, I might need to ask you both ladies, how often do you scroll on your social media?
So often.
Because I know that you
Which
post...
social media?
Any social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
Instagram.
YouTube. Instagram. You?
Instagram is the most often.
Because you often post content on Instagram, right?
Exactly, yes. That's like my part-time job. And then sometimes when I'm bored of the contents in Instagram, I go to TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. Oh, my. TikTok is like a fountain of information and also entertainment. I laughed my head out every time, you know, I saw like some posts on TikTok. But how are you?
Well, I find TikTok very interesting because even the most serious posts can seem humorous.
Yes.
Because people can dance along and then talk about really serious things.
Yeah.
Here's the way to get over depression.
Yeah. Oh, that's,
How to
that is
know
actually right.
if your partner is cheating.
Like this. But in a very amusing way. Now, speaking of social media, one account that interests me is a teacher's account featuring the students that went viral.
Yes. Shuchi, with her nickname Chiwi, is a Malaysian teacher who went viral on social media. And her content featured her students at schools as she shows how to calm the class down, how to speak, and she gets close with her students while making the content.
Currently, Chichi has more than 545,000 followers and 15.4 million likes on her TikTok account. So now let's find out more about her.
You look gorgeous. Oh, that's so white.
I mean, this is just the color of my skin.
We are now connected with Chichi, who is in Malaysia right now, and she will share with us her story. Let's just greet her. Hi, Chichi.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
Having me.
Wow. One day I stumbled upon your content and I was like, wow, this teacher is so young and she looks very lovable, you know? And
We didn't have those teachers when
Yeah,
we were
exactly. We did not have those kind of teachers back in our days.
exactly, I thought, oh, what lucky kids who can get you as their students. By the way, your contents with your student on TikTok have reached 14.8 million likes, and you have more than 500,000 followers right now. So why do you think people like your content so much?
I think because everyone has been to school, so it's something that they can relate to. They want to catch a glimpse of what it's like to be a teacher, and what life is like in school nowadays. So I think it's relatable, it's genuine, it's funny. And my kids are a lot of fun.
But seriously, what actually triggered my curiosity is why did you choose to become a teacher? Has it always been a calling for you? Because you know, people in our generation, I don't know about you, let alone you are actually in a big city, in Kuala Lumpur, if I'm not mistaken, right? Not many of our generation have chosen to be a teacher. And so why did you?
It was not my first choice. I always wanted to do something else. But I think when I was 17, I had to decide what I wanted to do. I think teaching was something that was like a burden in my heart, or something that was really like calling me, because it was something that was meaningful, something that I thought that I could give back to society with. And so yeah, that was a primary reason I chose it. People around me told me that I should not have, when I was choosing, my teachers would be like, no, your grades are so good, you shouldn't be a teacher. My parents weren't very supportive because it's not seen as a very glamorous kind of job. But I regret it, I love it. I think it's one of the best choices I've made.
Because none of my teacher back in the days, from elementary or from, onwards to to high school onwards, have that kind of nails. I mean, look at your nails. Let me see your nails. I mean, look at that. That's so pretty.
We were always forced to clean our nails.
I know.
Cut our nails. That's a different era. I mean, we're talking about you and I probably, we grew up in the different eras than the kids nowadays. You as a teacher who grew up also in different eras, how do you think students, mostly Gen Z, now deal with more exposure to luxury and digitalization? Are there any pros and cons? And why do you think you seem to be, as a teacher right now, seem to be connecting better to this generation than what your teacher previously perhaps did or did not connect with you?
I think because I grew up in a very similar generation. So we watched the same movies, listened to the same music. I can relate in a lot of the same ways. That's why I can connect to them. But growing up in this era of digitalization, I find some things that are quite different from when I grew up versus when they are growing up. So they're a lot smarter because they have access to information and they grew up like know how to use Google. Like my kids know how to use ChatGPT now. I'm really scared they're gonna use it in my exam. Yeah, they're smart kids. They teach themselves how to use Photoshop. You know all these things. So those are the pros. The cons would be, I think they grew up in this environment where they're comparing themselves a lot, right? Okay. Social media is there. They often get lost in all the noises, not really knowing their identity. So that's something I try to do, and the teachers around me try to like remind themselves of who they are, not get like lost in like comparing themselves on social media.
I see.
Dealing with young kids, sometimes the situation can be chaotic, right?
It's not easy. I have to say that. It's not easy.
Exactly, because their brain isn't fully developed like us, right? When you talk to adults, you can just tell them what to do, what you want, and then they will most likely follow. But it's totally different with young kids. You gotta use different approach, right? Could you please give us an idea of how you handle situations like that? What do you do? I mean, do you follow your formal education or training regarding the way of handling those kids, or do you adopt some sort of methods? You know, right now the parenting method is more gentle, it's more connection with the child.
Compromise.
Yes,
more compromise.
How do you handle situations like that?
I think I try a very different approach how my teachers or my parents me. So I really try not to shame them or embarrass them. So let's say they like acting up in class or doing something that I like. So I pull them aside. I give them time to reflect. And I think one thing I always do is ask them to their feelings. So how do you feel right now? What are you angry? So they have to explain to me what they're feeling, why they did what they did, and my number one is always the goal is to understand them, why they do this. Maybe I understood. You know, sometimes in a huge class, when a kid is acting up, you think it's them, but maybe like someone agitated them first, someone like bullied them first. Like we don't see those things, so I get to give them a chance to explain, and then I talk to them. Be like, okay, this is inappropriate. You should have done that. I think the key is to build a relationship first. And when the kids know that you're on their side, then they try you're on the best for you. So that's my approach to bully behaviors.
Okay, and also in this young age, we heard that you are now the head of design and technology at your school. Does this mean you're not teaching anymore?
So I hate the department, but I also teach in that department.
Okay, I see. Okay, now this is very intriguing because in this kind of era, you need that one dedicated department to actually handle all the technology development and stuff like that. And also, I want to talk more about this later.
Exactly, but hold it right there because we're going to take a little break. But don't worry, because after the break, we will still continue our conversation with Chi Chi. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.